Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you game 2 in a best, or I don't know if it's a best of 5, a 5-game set I have between Elfi and SjoW here, here on Blistering Sands. Elfi spawning as the red Protoss player this time. Meanwhile, blue Terran, SjoW spawning over here on the top right hand side. They decided to change their colors up on me. I believe this game took place on the European servers just because Homer J's here. One of the easy ways to figure out if a game is from the European servers. See my friend Homer J, gotta be at least on the European servers with a German caster there. So now one pylon being placed down by Elfi. Elfi losing game 1 in this series so far. So Elfi did a great job trying to push back, trying to figure out what exactly the strategy was going to be, but it didn't really work out. I'm not exactly sure what exactly happened with Elfi. Elfi did win a couple key battles. I believe SjoW was just able to simply out-macro Elfi using those mules and then taking that gold mineral patch first. And then that war of attrition, even though Elfi had a stronger economy, no, it's not a stronger economy, a stronger tech advantage with level 1 weapons upgrade, it simply wasn't enough. On top of that, he didn't get Zealot charged for quite some time, so those Zealots were unable to get within that melee range on those siege tanks, and because of that, those siege tanks were able to blast away from a very, very safe distance and then just take down that gold expansion. So a gateway now being placed down, and we'll see what exactly Elfi is going to do in just a moment. We should be seeing an assimilator there, yeah, an assimilator now being placed down as well. Most likely it will be followed up with, I believe, a 16 or 17 pylon, and then a cybernetics core. So now continuing to chrono boost this Nexus, trying to get a stronger economy going with those earlier probes. I believe a couple people had asked me how many minerals does chrono boosting a probe really save you? Well, chrono boosting a probe, I believe 2 probes are built in 24 units of time instead of 34 units of time. So overall it saves you about, I believe it's 7 to 10 mining seconds. So 7 to 10 mining seconds, that is about what, 15, I believe it's 15 minerals. If I'm trying to do my math off the top of my head, I believe it's 9 trips in a minute. I'll do a spreadsheet for you guys sometime. Anyway, so this game is now underway. We now see the supply depot being placed over here. This supply depot more along the lines of making sure that there are no void ray harassments coming in from this direction. Void rays have been pretty nerfed in the early game just because they do not deal as much damage on the high end and when they are fully charged. However, they do more damage when they are not fully charged against armored units as well. So it's a little bit of a nerf buff, but overall most people do agree that the void ray has been nerfed overall in general, just because any flying unit that moves very quickly, can attack ground and air, and has high DPS is always going to be a concern, as once they reach critical mass, it is very, very difficult to try to deal with them. Marines now trying to take down this one probe, barely able to escape there, and now able to come back, activating the Zelnaga Watchtower as these Marines now, I guess, trying to return home. We do see, what, 2 Marines once again standing on this ramp, and it looks as though Elfi pretty much opening up with that pretty standard build so far. A gateway into a robotics facility, most likely will be training an observer, and warp gate research, interestingly enough, has not been started. So not exactly sure what Elfi is doing. There we go. Now getting that warp gate research just a little bit late, and we'll see if that has any real outcome on the game. Warpgate research, very, very critical for Protoss players, as it essentially decreases the production time for every single gateway unit by 10 game seconds. We now see 6 Marines sitting over here, and now we have a siege tank with siege tech. Oh no, Infernal Pre-Igniter being researched. So it looks like Infernal Pre-Igniter wants to be researched first, and I'm not 100% sure how much damage this one Hellion will be able to do. The Hellion does deal additional damage to workers, so they are perfect at harassing mineral lines, but beyond that, maybe against the random Zealot or 2, they do not deal that much damage. Hellion needs to essentially hit about 2 to 3 light units per attack in order for their DPS to match what the cost is for Marine. As these Hellions now just trying to circle back around once again, I guess that Hellion just continuing to look around the map, making sure that there are no proxy pylons that he has to worry about, no proxy stargates, no proxy any other bases, as one observer now wandering around on the inside. SjoW playing pretty defensively right now with this 1-1-1 build. The Infernal Pre-Igniter will be finished research in just a second. However, with 2 Stalkers in play, that 1 Hellion will not be able to deal all too much damage and now perhaps be able to return home. And a second Hellion will be able to join in on this fight, and 2 Hellions better than 1, especially when you're trying to raid a mineral line, as 1 round of attack from 2 Hellions is able to take down a probe, and so, or any worker for that matter. So a lot of probes continuing to be trained up here. It looks as though, yes, this is near full saturation. It's currently sitting on 20, and with this Nexus currently being built, he should have about 26 probes, should be able to transfer over 13, and then start being able to mine very, very efficiently, getting about an additional 200 minerals per minute. Back over here, we now have that observer still gaining sight, trying to give as much information to back home, figuring out what SjoW's army composition is so far. And we do see Immortals being trained, and I would assume that we should probably transition more into Colossi. Colossi, yeah, there we go. With that robotics bay, we'll be able to train up Colossi, as there are a lot of Marines on the ground. Taking a look back over here, we do see a medevac currently being trained, and no reactor though. So not able to double train any Marines and Marauders. So there is a group of units sitting over here. No combat shield, no stim pack, no siege tank research, only infernal pre-igniter research, as this what 4 groups of Hellions tried to deal some damage. However, I believe no damage was really dealt, as this one medevac now trying to come back around this side over here. We are going to get a couple, we are going to have Immortals in this position, and now with another unit over here, are we going to get another drop? Yeah, dropping straight into this location. Will these Hellions be able to deal any damage is a key question. Trying to go after those probes in the mineral line here. Already 5 or 6 of those probes have been taken down. More probes still getting taken down once again. Elfi not moving these probes around, and Elfi probably just concerned that by moving the probes generally clump together. So he just wanted the natural separation of those probes as they were mining, in order to try to minimize the amount of damage. Harvester wise, you can see 27 harvesters compared to 33, so Elfi is going to be a little bit behind now. However, he is mining off of 16 mineral patches, but SjoW now also able to mine off of 16 mineral patches as well, and he, with that double mule, he will be able to get a lot of damage up very, very quickly. So we see Immortals, Sentries, and Stalkers now trying to put pressure onto this back door, and the Terran player, and with now any sight onto his backdoor, may be in a little bit of trouble here. As soon as this backdoor gets taken down, which it will get taken down very quickly, with Immortals blasting away, dealing 50 damage per pop against those destructible rocks, the Marine will show up just in time, just to see that the backdoor has been taken down, and now all these siege tanks now trying to engage back over here. Are the Stalkers now going to try to engage? No, the Stalkers are not going to engage, and now just push into the natural expansion down in this location. So very, very nice. Forcing SjoW to try to cover this backdoor entrance. No sight, and now the main expansion will get taken down instead, and now a force field on the ramp. So SjoW now just pretty much stuck out of position here. Siege tanks may be able to siege up. No, not able to siege up, as these units continue to take more and more damage. We do see that the medevacs were able to pick up a lot of those units there, and now able to deal more damage against that one mule. And now SjoW in a little bit of a desperate situation, not quite sure what he's going to be able to do. He could have been warping, or Elfi could have been warping in additional units on the back door to put pressure on the back door as well as the front door at the same time. So these units now sitting here, we do see that that pylon may get taken down by SjoW. So SjoW now moving out with a very, very large group indeed, and I'm not sure why Elfi didn't try to engage and finish off this command center. That orbital command may have been taken down by those Stalkers, and now these units are now going to make a straight move out into the middle of the field here. Sentries and Stalkers now trying to engage, now trying to zap away. We do see a more force fields coming in once again. And will this be enough army-wise? 2450. So SjoW now using the stim pack, able to chase in and deal a lot of damage. There is one Colossus sitting over here. The Colossus does not have the extended thermal lance research, but will be able to get a lot of damage very, very quickly. That Colossus needs to try to pull back, unable to escape. And now SjoW continuing to push back once again. Will it be enough? There is Guardian Shields, probes coming off the mineral line, and what also force field. Not quite sure what that was about. Why one force field was placed down there. Perhaps to just try to make it a little bit closer for those siege tanks, because the siege tanks outrange those Stalkers. More Zealots now coming in as well. Medevacs should be able to start picking up the rest of those units here. And now Hellions also coming in as well. So Hellions engaging, and now all of these units trying to return all the way home. Will it be enough? Stalkers trying to engage. Will be able to pick off some of these medevacs. There are a lot of medevacs in the air, and they should be able to deal a lot of units, deal a lot of damage across the board. A second Colossus was not being trained until just now. So Zealots and Stalkers now trying to come out, engage. Will it be enough? One Hellion continuing to push back and forth. Zealots without Zealot charge being slowed by concussive shell. Stalker trying to finish off more and more of this battle once again. Will this Colossus be able to do anything at all? The expansion down over here once again starting to mine, has had a lot of energy being saved up. This Nexus will get rolled over in just a moment, and I believe SjoW, after losing this Nexus and losing all of his main army, will be forced to say GG, and there it is. So SjoW taking game 2 as well. So yeah, this is a 5-game set currently. SjoW, it has a 2-0 lead. I do not know if it's a best of 5 or best of 7. I just know that it's a 5-game set. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between Elfi and SjoW.